So adding a 3D object, I'm just going to switch from 2D mode, 3D. Three D models, I've got a couple. I've got a village, I've got this little hat man, and a beast man. I'm going to use the tower, I think, and maybe the village as well. We'll just use the tower. This is going to be in the background of the menu. So in case you want to put some 3D, sometimes it's nice. I'm just going to drag this into my scene. Tower. And yes, it's very, very small, but if you look in your game view, it's actually here. We have a main camera that's viewing it. Yes. So I'm just gonna adjust. I can zoom in on my tower wedge. I'm gonna keep this window open so I can see what I see. There's my wedge. There's my camera. Okay, it's in view. I think filling the frame like that might be nice, and then having it turn. We're going to reuse a script we already have. We have a script that rotates that rotating obstacle. We're going to use that script. It's in our obstacle pack scripts folder. And it's just called rotator. It's a very simple script. All it does is rotate based on the speed value we give it. So on my tower wedge, I'm going to add a script component. Scripts, and I'm looking for rotator. So whatever object you add, I'm going to add the rotator script. And then we can do a quick test to see if that's too fast, too slow. Rotating around the wrong axis. So I prefer if it was spinning around that one. Speed, anyway, is too much. I'd probably go 0.5 of the drift. Maybe even less, 0.25. Nice and slow. So it's rotating around the Z axis. And this is because of how I created it in Blender with that origin point, but I can fix that in Unity. So stop once again. Remember my speed, 0.25. What I'm going to do is create an empty parent for this. So basically give myself a different origin point. Okay, all these windows are separate. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because the way this is working right now is it's got 0 rotation on the X, 0 on the Y, and then everything's happening on the Z. So we could make, I just wouldn't want to modify that because it'll ruin the rotator obstacle. So I'd probably just make a duplicate script. So we could do that. Yeah, it's from the obstacle pack, so it's used for the rotating one. So I don't want to, I could duplicate it and modify. Yeah. However, the origin point would still be far away, I think. Yeah, because the pivot point of it is out here. which is why I'm having this issue. So I'm still going to have to create an empty parent to control it. But yeah, we could make another script to do exactly that. So empty parent. On my whatever your model is. This is only if you have the same issue as me. You probably don't. Tower holder. And I'll give it a little icon so I can see it. And you see it's way over there. So I want my actual object to be on my pivot point. I'm just going to select my object, get into orthographic or isometric. I'm just going to move the wedge, tower wedge. I'm just trying to get it as centered as possible. And my empty is this point. So now if I rotate it around its pivot, it's rotating around that point. Yeah, it's still wrong. We want to rotate around the y-axis. So yeah, we will have to make another script. You are right. So I'll remove that rotator script. And on the tower holder, I'm going to add a new script. Rotate tower. I'm going to open up the rotator script as well, because I'm going to take its code. Actually, I can just take it from here. Basically, I'm going to copy this and modify it so it's rotating around the y-axis instead of the z. So I'm going to copy this script. And in our new rotate tower, I'm just going to paste that whole thing. And then we're just going to move this from the Z part to the Y part. So now our rotator is going to rotate around the Y-axis in this new script, rotate tower. Back to Unity, rotate tower script. Oh, I've got a problem. Oh, with space self, that must be on the. Sorry, space self should be at the end. Hey, now we have our thing here. I can do 0.25. Move this back. And now we have a rotating piece of 3D to move through. Next, we're going to add a button to get back to the main menu from the game. So I'm going to save this. And I'm going to open up my game scene. Tower 2. Ooh, big old mess. Okay, let me just clean up my hierarchy here. Empty parents, yet again. Right click, empty parent. There's all my towers. And then I can roll that up, make it nice and neat. I've got fall platforms. Lots of them. Again, empty parent. I've got movable walls. You get the idea. Empty parent for anything that's movable wall. Pendulums, empty parents. Okay, so a little bit of cleanup. Okay, next I'm going to add our UI. We just want to create a single button to take us back home. Again, UI canvas. I'll create an empty for our menu manager because I'm going to add another button to this. So same setup as in the other scene. The menu manager will have the start menu script on it, and any new buttons we create for the UI, we're going to add in here. Shadows are sometimes useful gameplay wise, like you can see where your players are going to land, but yeah, you can work without shadows. All right, let's add another image. Home icon. Here's a home button. Let's use this one. Again, I'm going to change my settings for this image because I'm going to use it as a UI button. Sprite to the UI, single, point no filter. And this is just the first result I got for home icon on Google Images. And apply. Let's take a look at our canvas. I'll just double click on it to focus and switch to 2D mode. So we're going to convert this UI image into a button just by adding a component to it. UI image. The source is going to be my home icon image for the sprite. And then we're going to convert this to a button by adding the component button. And then the same setup as before. Add an on-click event. We're going to pick our menu manager as our object. And the function doesn't exist because we haven't written it yet. So the next step is to add the return to home function to our script, our start menu script. So I'll do that right now. Over to our script. Uh-oh. Let's make a public void. Home button. And all this is using the scene manager to load our main menu again. So I'll use scene manager load scene. I think I called mine main menu, but I'll double check. And a debug, just so I know everything's working. Save this, back to Unity. And now when I look in start menu, I should see home button. Yep, there we go. In game, that's obviously not where you want it to be. Home button in the center at all times. So let's go back to our scene and look at our canvas. Right now it's anchored to the center of the screen. So they move and reshape, it's always stuck to the center. This one, I think top left would be a fine place to put it. We're going to move it to the top left of my canvas. Let me go a little bit bigger here. And I also want to change its anchor, because right now it's anchored to the center, which means as it gets to the edge of the screen, it can get pushed out. Change its anchor to top left. So click on the anchor presets, select our top left. So now as I scale and move, it's just stuck to that left corner of the screen. Maybe a little bit smaller. It exists in game. And I've saved everything. I should be able to press play. I can speed things, I can move, access my game, jump to the menu by clicking on the home. Or start the game by clicking start. People have a way in and a way out. Now I can make one more build of this. Build profiles, all the same scenes are in here. Build, I'll make another folder. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it is a directional light. That's what it is. I just don't know why you can't see your icon. Your widget's turned off. Is there anything else I'm doing differently? I just have the one directional light, and then the other light is coming from the skybox. Check your camera on your player. Where is the camera holder? Where are you? Oh, there you go. So that's just the main script, but on it, I have my main camera, and that tells me what I'm using for background, so I can have solid color. No, I was using Skybox. I was wondering if that would affect it. No, it doesn't seem to affect the lighting. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. It doesn't change for you. So you jump on it and nothing happens. Yeah. One of the steps in setting up the character is mass. Exactly. Check your mass. So it's only this one, I think, that it really matters for the mass. Oh, no, there is one more. Yeah, mass. Yeah, on the player. Correct. Yeah, because the rigid body sets based on the size of an object as well. Like a mass of 1, but if it has a size, it's going to make it hard to turn. So yeah, with a mass of 1, it's just not going to work, which is the default. So I'm going to jump on it and nothing. I'm not heavy enough. One last thing is if you want to have people online test your game that you need to build for web, and if you need a place to host it, Itch is very good for hosting games. You can host your PC build on here and people can download it, or you can host a web version of it. Do I remember my password for Itch? So first I'm going to build this whole thing as a web. No web module loaded, so I'm going to install this right now. Which platform? The rotation. No, there's no script. Even with your mass of the player set to 60, it doesn't work. Oh, let me take a look then. But anyway, right now I'm installing WebGL support. That should take a moment. 6 minutes left. I can do it. Maybe. Install complete. Perfect. Editor needs to be restarted. And I'm just going to upload a project to itch. Unity 3D that we played in browser. Okay, a few more settings that needs to be worked out before we can build the web. Yeah, we'll actually look at this next week. Too late to be starting it now.